Hey, what's going on everyone? I am the OPJellicent and we are team building for week number 8 of the GBA D-League, up against Deebz and his Calgary Flame Wheels. He's currently, I believe, 3-4 coming into this match. We are winless, nice 0-7, so we're hoping to pick up our first win right here, despite the fact that we can't make playoffs, and me and Deebz have really been looking forward to this game, so hopefully it should be a good one. It'll be up tomorrow at noon Eastern time, but you can see the 11 Pokemon that he has the potential to bring over on the right of your screen. You can see 96 Pokemon on top. We'll go through his 11 Pokemon one by one. Then we will go through my Pokemon individually and get my thoughts on the matchup as a whole. So let's go ahead and get started with Deeb's roster. First Pokemon Deebz has on his roster is the Landorus Therian, and I think he can bring several different Landorus T-sets right here. Scarf could make some sense, although my most likely choice Scarfers, which are Latias and Crobat. I say Crobat because it does outspeed his entire roster, and if we do choice Scarf it, nothing will outspeed it. Do outspeed Landorus T, so I think he might go more like a Rock Polish Z offensive set as like a late game cleaner. The Flanium Z is definitely a good option to break through something like a bulky Manaphy, as well as hit Latias pretty hard, just because the only other reliable thing he can hit Latias with is Knockoff, and this is of course a Z, his first of 2 Z-Mons it looks like, so Landorus T definitely just a giant threat, can switch into Mega Pinsir very well with that Intimidate, and really just a giant problem. We do have some good tech for it this week though. He definitely has to prep for stuff like Air Balloon on Xurkitree, definitely could stop that sort of sweep too. I don't even think he OHKOs Registeel from full, so it's definitely something he has to consider, but just a really problematic Pokemon, especially since it is immune to Sticky Webs if he is expecting those. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I opted to go against the Webs this week. But next up here he has the Mega Charizard X, and this is also just a giant problem. Setup Pokemon like Landorus T most likely. Dragon Dance definitely makes a ton of sense, but unlike the Landorus T, Mega Pinsir can actually dent this thing pretty hard with Quick Attack. He pretty much has to go with the Max Attack, Max Speed Jelly set, just because we do have a base 100 Pokemon in Manaphy, and I really don't see a bulky Dragon Dance set coming, just because it's stopped by a ton of my bulk anyway, so yeah, I think Mega Pinsir is definitely a really good option to revenge kill this, because nearly every attack on the team that I'm bringing puts this thing in range of Quick Attack, which is definitely very nice right now, so Mega Charizard X is definitely a very scary thing to consider, but I think the combination of Manaphy, our priority attacks, and our Choice Scarfer of choice will definitely be able to handle that. Next up here, he has the Serperior. I think a Kobe Berry set definitely makes a lot of sense, just because I do have Mega Pinsir and Crobat. I am bringing both, obviously, and we definitely do have to be wary of that Kobe Berry on Serperior, but obviously, Leaf Storm is definitely a problem. It's a great way to break through my Manaphy. You'll see that I'm actually running Rindo Berry this week to try to lure the Serperior into a false sense of security, but I don't really see Serperior being too big of a threat. Basically, the only real set that could sweep me is Scarf, and we have so many good Leaf Storm answers with Latias, Mega Pinsir, and Crobat, so I'm kind of on the fence with Serperior, but we've definitely considered that when building this team this week. He has the Nihilego right here, which I think it might be Scarf Nihilego and like set up Landorus T, just because Scarf Nihilego definitely does have a ton of cleaning potential with Power Gem. I'm actually opting to go against Registeel this week, just because we do have a faster choice Scarfer than Nihilego this week, and Landorus I can naturally take a hit even after the Beast Boost. As crazy as that sounds, I believe +1 Power Gem only does like 88% max, so that's definitely a very nice thing to consider there too. But other than that, Specs could be like a really nice wall breaking set, but then it's definitely going to be outsped by some of my other Pokemon, such as my Mega Pinsir, so I think Scarf definitely makes a lot more sense right here. He has the Porygon 2, which looks annoying on paper, but really the combination of like Tailglow Manaphy, several toxic users on our team, as well as potential Xurkitree, could definitely prevent him from being Porygon 2, and we definitely are bringing some of those Pokemon just to help out in that aspect. We have some knockoff users on our team, as you'll see too, so definitely prep for Porygon 2 right here. Mega Pinsir can break through it pretty easily with the combination of knockoff into return. I believe it always knocks him out, so that's definitely very nice. Not too worried about Porygon 2 right here. He has the Togekiss, which Scarf Togekiss looks kind of annoying, but we do have a lot of priority on our team. Xurkitree could definitely take that on if I bracket that, and our Choice Scarfer of choice definitely outspeeds the Togekiss this week too, so no Choice Scarf Air Slashing shenanigans, which are going to otherwise sweep through my team. We definitely do have some good switch-ins as well as some good checks to the Togekiss this week. Sneasel is the next Pokemon. This is a really scary Pokemon. Pretty much my best switch-in is like Manaphy. I opted to not bring Registeel this week, as good as it was, just because I didn't really feel the need to stack hazards against him with the rocks and all that. And I really think Sneasel could definitely be a giant problem for sure, but we have Pokemon that can outspeed it. We definitely take we take an alright amount of damage from Ice Shard with Mega Pinsir. Mega Pinsir does have good defense, but After rocks, he probably knocks us out with that. So definitely just a really big threat to consider, but as long as we keep several Pokemon healthy on our squad this week, Sneasel should not be a very big issue. Vaporeon is the next Pokemon, and Vaporeon's pretty passive. It's definitely kind of setup fodder for Manaphy unless he does opt to go with the Roar set. Mega Pinsir always 2-hit KOs it, and I'm actually hoping he goes with the Fizz Def set this week, just because you'll see that I have this really cool Pokemon on my team that I'm hoping to do a ton of work with, and Vaporeon could actually switch into that Pokemon if it wasn't for the Fizz Def investment. So hopefully he goes with the Fizz Def set. If he goes Spit F, that one Pokemon is not going to do as much as I want it to, but we'll get into those details when I go over my team. He has the Rotom Spook right here, just regular Rotom. Could be a Choice Scarf set too. I could see like dual Scarfers, Rotom Spook right here with the, what's it called, the Nihilego. Even Scarflander is T, as I said, but it could also just be like a Choice Spec set. But if he does go with Choice Specs, it's going to be outsped by like my entire team, so not quite sure what route he's going to go with that. And then finally Golisopod, which is definitely something I had to consider. First impression can actually out-prioritize my Choice Scarfer, which I guess I'll just say it now. It is Latias this week, so definitely do have to consider that, but it's blown back by Mega Pinsir, plus 3 Manaphy, same thing. So really, we have checks to it, but we just have to play around it very well if we do see it come. Expect the first impressions, maybe pivot out into Landorus Incarnate, and just go with that. But yeah, that's going to be Deebz' roster right there. Let's go ahead and go over my 6 Pokemon. Alright, first Pokemon we have right here is Seal, our Manaphy, which is running the Rindoberry set as I mentioned. And this definitely does have good potential to lure the Superior. Pretty basic set otherwise, just Tail Glow with 3 attacks. Max HP, enough speed to outspeed the Landorus T no matter what, as well as the Lucario, which is definitely a very good speed tier for us. And then just dump the rest into defense just to help out against Landorus T, just because that actually makes that Supersonic Skystrike potential a roll. And we do also take on the Mega Charizard X better, because we take 1+1 Dragon Claw naturally, and do pressure that with Surf, despite the fact that we do have minimal investment. So definitely a very nice set right here. That can do a lot of work. We can set up on stuff like Porygon too. He's threatened out by the when I bring it in on Nihilego too, because this is something that can take a Scarf hit from Nihilego even if it does get a Beast Boost as well. So hopefully Manaphy can do exactly what it needs to this week. Can also set up on the Vaporeon, and we do carry Energy Ball, but the main purpose is to lure that Superior, of course, with that Rindoberry. Tail Glow up as he brings in that Superior, eat up our Leaf Storm, and then go for that Ice Beam and knock him out. So hopefully that can work out. Let's go ahead and move on to our second Pokemon. Second Pokemon we got right here is Assess the Threat, our Mega Pinsir, which is running a pretty basic set too. We're running a lot of predictable stuff this week, but I definitely think they do have the optimal matchup. So Swords Dance, Return, Quick Attack, and Knockoff. I will do my Happiness this week, and we have enough speed to make sure that we always outspeed the Nihilego no matter what, which is definitely very great. But other than that, Returns just completely blow back his team. As I did say, Knockoff into Return will knock out the Porygon 2, just because we will get rid of that Eviolite, which is definitely very nice. And he can't outstall me because we knock it off, and then we're doing over half with Return. So even if he recovers the turn we knock off, it's not a very big deal. Obviously, the biggest checks to this Pokemon are stuff like Scarf Nihilego, Mega Charizard X after the speed boost, Landorus T after the speed boost, as well as that Sneasel. I could see like a Scarf Sneasel definitely being a problem, but Sneasel takes a really good amount from Quick Attack too, and with Mega Pinsir's a very passable defense, we're actually not taking too much from Ice Shard, as I said when I was talking about Sneasel earlier. So hopefully Mega Pinsir, I don't really see it sweeping, but hopefully it can be a really nice hole puncher this match. Let's go ahead and move on to our Mega Lati. Next up here we have regular Eon, our Latias. I might have just called it Mega Lati by accident, but either way, this is our Choice Scarfer this week. We're running pretty standard set, Draco Meteor, Ice Beam, Psyshock, Trick. And this is definitely the Choice Scarfer of choice this week, just because it definitely outspeeds the Mega Charizard X after a Dragon Dance and Revenge kills that with Draco Meteor. And it does also outspeed the Choice Scarf from Nihilego, which is very cool. Trick is a cool tech on there just to help out against Porygon 2, as well as the Vaporeon. Vaporeon is going to be really annoying if it does bring that Spit F set this week, but I definitely think if we can trick a Choice Scarf onto that, it can definitely be very helpful. We just got to be careful because obviously after tricking our item away, we're going to be slower than some of the other stuff that I mentioned. So it'll depend on what he brings and what I feel in the match, but definitely Trick was the best option to go for the last move right there. Ice Beam just to help out against Superior. This is a great Scarf Superior answer just because we obviously don't take much from Leaf Storm, and just a great Superior answer in general, obviously, because we do outspeed it and he can't Dragon Pulse without taking a ton of damage in the process, but enough speed to outspeed Nihilego. Psyshock definitely does have cool potential to sweep late game, assuming he does not bring the Sneasel and we weaken a few things, such as the Vaporeon and the Porygon 2. So Hopefully regular Eon here, Latias, can do what it needs to, outspeed those setup sweepers as well as choice scarfers and do some work. Let's go ahead and move on to our Crobat. Alright, next up here we have Savvy, our Crobat, which is running the Skyplate set this week, with just dual attacks with Brave Bird U-Turn, Toxic, and Taunt. I did say earlier that I was going to try to run a Choice Scarf Crobat, but I opted to go with Choice Scarf Latias instead, just because Crobat didn't really have the power output with Brave Bird if it did not run the Skyplate this week, and I really didn't want to be locked into a move anyway, so Toxic is definitely very nice. We can Toxic probably his best switch-ins, which are Vaporeon and the Porygon 2, and Taunt them to prevent them from recovering, which is very cool. U-Turn is just a nice momentum grabber. We can bring it in, and we can U-Turn out on stuff that he might bring in, such as Landorus T and Mega Charizard X, which are definitely very common switch-ins, but other than that, Brave Bird is just a really spammable move against his team. We just click Brave Bird through like everything. Even Nihilego doesn't really want to take Brave Birds from Skyplate Crobat, despite our very mediocre attack stat. And the speed here is just really nice right here. We actually have enough speed to, I believe, outspeed the Sneasel no matter what, which is definitely very great. I would have loved to go Adamant, but then we would have just fallen short of the Sneasel, so we can take the Ice Shard, but I really wanted to make sure that I outspeed, so that way we don't take an Icicle Crash. But yeah, basically the idea of this is just to grab us momentum into some of our bigger threats, such as our Mega Pinsir, and as you'll see, our next Pokemon, which I'm very excited to show. But yeah, Toxic and Taunt are definitely good stall breaking potential right there this week, and let's go ahead and move on to our Florges, which I'm actually very excited to use. Alright, second to last Pokemon we have right here is Rose, our Florges, and this is a set that I'm really excited to use. I figured we would go ahead and mix it up since we're eliminated from playoffs anyway, but that being said, I still do think this set has a ton of potential this week. It's Choice Specs Florges right here with Moonblast, Psychic, Endeavor, and Toxic. Now, Moonblast is just super spammable through his team. The only real switch-ins he has are Porygon 2 and Nihilego, and potentially Spit F Vaporeon. Other than that, Vaporeon does get 2-hit KO'd, which is definitely very nice. And we do have Toxic to try to catch the Sneasel, not the Sneasel, the Vaporeon and the Porygon 2, even if they decide to switch in, which is definitely very cool. Moonblast and Psychic for obvious reasons. Psychic can hit Nihilego, Moonblast hits literally everything else, and then Endeavor is cool tech just in case he weakens me and tries to switch out later. Like, we'd take one hit from Nihilego naturally with the Sludge Wave, and then we can Endeavor that thing all the way down, and then put him in range of some of our other attacks, such as Mega Pinsir's Priority Quick Attack, for example, just because if I do want to trick my Scarf away from Lati, I do need better options against Nihilego, so this can naturally take a hit and weaken that thing into range of some of our other Pokemon, but basically the main idea here is just Moonblast through his team. I think I might lead this Pokemon depending on what he brings, because he might not expect it and hard switch into something that might get 2-hit KO'd, such as the Togekiss, Vaporeon, and even the Porygon 2 if it is a Fizz-Def set, so that's definitely very cool, and let's go ahead and move on to our final Pokemon. And our final Pokemon right here is Lion, our Landorus Incarnate right here, which is running a Yachiberry set. I figured I did need some sort of lure for the Sneasel, just because this team is really weak to Sneasel, especially since we're bringing a more offensive Florges set. It just clicks Knockoff and Ice moves through my entire team, so we can definitely take a nice Ice Shard behind the Yachiberry, and I think that's definitely the move he's going to go for, just because obviously Icicle Crash can miss. He doesn't know whether I would be Choice Scarf or not, so maybe we can try to bluff the Scarf, but this is also our Defogger of choice this week. He definitely does have some potential hazards, such as rocks from Landorus T, rocks from Nihilego, so definitely a very big thing. And the speed tier is really nice here too. We outspeed the Mega Charizard X by 1 base point with the max speed Jolly Nature, which is really cool. I was thinking about putting Hidden Power Ice on here to hit Landorus T, but Knockoff is just really great for the Porygon 2 to knock off that Eviolite, which is really cool. And I did want the U-turn momentum into some of our bigger threats, as I said. Same thing with Crobat, such as into Mega Pinsir and Manaphy right there. So that's definitely very good. And then Earthquake just for a nice stab move in. One other thing to keep in mind is we take 1+1 Power Gem from Nihilego, no matter what, even if he has Choice Scarf. Well, I guess the Choice Scarf doesn't make the difference, but we take that Beast Boost hit no matter what. So if Landorus I is at full health, there's no way that the Nihilego can sweep me, which is definitely very cool right now. So that's definitely very nice, and that is going to be our team this week. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Do you think we're going to finally pick up our first win, or do you think we're going to fall short and lose to Deebz? And would you have done anything differently, of course? But that's going to be the team, and I'll see you tomorrow for the match. Later.